Hi Mark, welcome back from Canada. Just talk me through the race from your point of view.
The race itself, I think, started with a lot of promise. We'd basically run through the tyres on Friday and Saturday in terms of performance and long runs on the option and prime tyres. And with the data that we had, we felt fairly confident that starting on the option tyre for both drivers was the correct thing to do. I think relatively few laps into the race, it became evident that the degradation we had on the rear was severely limiting our first stint. And in fact, what could have been a strong race for Heikki was really spoiled by the degradation of those tyres.
And just talk me through Heikki's start, obviously, because we saw him jump up to, I think, 15th after the first corner. He seems to be consistently good at getting away quickly. What would you put that down to?
I think he is consistently good, and I think it's a combination of his control of the car when he's driving, plus the pre-race preparation in terms of management of the tyres going to the grid, and working with Jan Gleo, expert controls engineer.
Just talk me through, obviously, the tyres were a significant factor. We had a two-stop strategy. When you guys sat down and thought about how we were going to run the racing in Canada, who sits down and who works it out, and what are the thoughts that go through your mind when you think about how you're going to run the race?
Okay, well, we have a strategy guy, Nicola Palacci, and that's his prime role throughout the course of the weekend. And so obviously he's got software tools to enable him to predict various parts of the strategy, but you know, it's also Jody, the chief engineer, the race engineers, the performance engineers. Everybody has an input to the discussions that take place throughout the course of the weekend, but particularly after qualifying and on the Saturday afternoon and pre-race on the Sunday morning. But it is all about having taken the data from the Friday and Saturday running in terms, again, of performance and long runs, and trying to determine how far the tyres will go before the degradation reaches a stage that it's actually quicker then to stop, put on new tyres and go again. And for us, we were fairly confident we couldn't do a one-stop, and we didn't particularly want to get into three-stop territory, so two stops was the right thing for us, given the data that we had prior to the race.
Talk to me about Valencia. Have we got any upgrades? I know Vitaly particularly likes the track. It's somewhere he spent a lot of time. Heikki, we not so much talk about our past there, but how are we looking in terms of pace and the car on track?
We do have an upgrade for Valencia. We have a new front wing. We also have a modification, a fairly small modification to the floor, the front of the floor. So, you know, there are reasons that we expect a little bit more performance from the car. It's very difficult to get the quantities of parts that we want to the track, so we have to see how we go with that. But for us, to be honest, even if the car was the same as it was in Montreal, we're confident that we should be able to extract more performance by management, better management of the tyres. And even now, you know, we learn every time we run the car, particularly come race day. We learn about the tyres, and we've come back armed with a few things that we want to try on Friday in Valencia to put us in a better situation with the tyres. There's a big difference between the front and rear tyres in terms of where they sit within their performance envelope. We made some progress from China onwards with the front tyres, and we now need to do the same with the rear. So that's our main focus, to be honest, going into Valencia.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
You're welcome.